Hey, what's up, everybody? Let's do the damn thing. Happy Friday. It's already Friday. This week has flown by. What's going on? My name's AJ Wrights Crypto. Let's fix this camera here. Just you guys got to see the spinning coin. I mean, what's the point of the show if you can't see the spinning coin? I mean, that is literally the entire point of this show. Thank you all for being here. Very excited that it is Friday, but we still got a lot of work to do today. We are not done yet. AJ learned from Master Ben. Let them wait. That's right. Let them wait. Sorry about that. I did sleep in a little bit more than I wanted to today, and I forgot that today was the big day. Today is a big day for the Grogger community. Some of you might have seen the tweet. Some of you might have seen the tweet already. Here, I will copy. I will paste it. It's copy and pasted in the chat. And boom, there we go. Grogger drop number 4. Absolutely amazing. Shout out to the H-Barbarian community. You guys are amazing. Wanted to pay tribute to that community. You know, I did an Algo Fam drop very early on. Wanted to do an H-Bar drop for you guys. Outside of there will only be 100 of these shirts ever, outside of the couple that I use for a giveaway and my personal shirt. Other than that, there's going to be 106 probably. All right. Only 100 for sale. And that's the point of get rich or get wrecked. You got to get it while it's hot. This is a pretty sweet shirt. Already got designs made for the next shirt. 100% of the profits will be used for future giveaways and for future merch giveaways as well. You all know how much I love doing giveaways. I already did a giveaway for 3 of these last week to get everybody excited for it. So there you go. Grogger drop number 4. We got it going here in April. We are getting to a place where we're getting a little faster at the whole process. I want to show you guys the next shirt, but I really don't even know if I should. I really don't know if I should, but it is so sick. It is so sick. I might just show you. I have to. Okay, I'm showing you. Oh, man, I got to find it. Where is it? I know I saved it in my phone. Okay, there it is. There's that. There's that. Okay, boom. Boom. All right, let me pull these over to my tab here so I can show you. I mean, this stuff is pretty awesome. I'm not going to lie. I got to scoot this over. This is killing me right now. Okay. All right. So that is that one. You guys, I don't know, first of all, yep. Checking the chat here for a second. Could we get a little color on their merch? Yeah, there is some colored merch coming. We're mixing it up. We do it all. We do it all over the place. And I wanted to say that the Telegram group, anybody who signs up for a year gets an exclusive get rich or get wrecked drop. That is only for the people who do the year for Telegram. That shirt has been designed. Not going to share that one here, but I'm going to share you Grogger drop 5, the next for sale shirt I'm going to show you. But that shirt has been made, and I'm thinking in the next couple weeks we will mail those out. I mean, there are people in the Telegram group from Australia, from New Zealand, in America. I mean, there's almost 90 people in the group now. We've been, so many signups. So good to see. We nailed some trades last night, which was really awesome. Also been putting a lot of strategy, a lot of mindset stuff in there as well. It's been really good so far, and I'm proud of it. So shout out to anybody in the Telegram group, and your shirt is going to come in the mail here very soon. But I do want to show you the next Grogger drop. This one's a little over the top. This one is pretty insane. We got the astronaut, the get rich and then get wrecked, kind of falling out of the letters there. It's kind of based off the scales of justice, which is another idea, another thing I'm really leaning into, kind of get the whole vibe here. And then on the back, and then there is the design for the back, just says Grogger flat on the back like that. I love this design. Super sick. Big shout out to David over at cryptochips.io. Here is the actual website with the drop. It's $25 for non-organic. If you want to get the organic one, you can for $5 extra, no big deal. But we like to give people the option. If you want the shorter price point, that's totally cool. But it's actually it's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. Shout out to the Get Rich or Get Wrecked community. You guys are awesome. Shout out to the H-Barbarians. And we're definitely going to be doing a lot more t-shirts. A lot more t-shirts right now because people The hoodie season, the hoodies are kind of expensive because when David and I make designs, not every design is just like a simple thing. Some of them are like pretty complicated, and that costs like a lot to make it. So like when the Algo Fam hoodie, for instance, was like $80, like, it took a while to sell them out. So, I want to make sure I'm giving you guys cool merch that is like, crypto native, that makes complete sense and is in our language, but is also, not $50 for a t-shirt. I think $25, $30 for a t-shirt. I ain't nothing more than that. So big shout out to you guys. You guys are amazing. I'll even get organic for the space, said Corey. So there you go. Where is NWF merch? That is a good question. We have the shirts. I have like a black NWF shirt, but I have to talk to Ben on that. I'm not totally sure how far he's going around there. Dez joined the first trade yesterday. I remember Dez in the email from the Telegram group. Dez, thanks for being here. My number one follower from the UK. Hey, shout out to the UK. That's awesome. Yeah, much love to everybody in the chat. All right, let's talk some crypto here, everybody. I could hang out with the chat forever. I do it all the time too. All right, come on, 100 people in here. Wait, there's 100 people in here. Smash the like button. Thanks for being here. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let's get into this on our beautiful Friday morning here. All right, Bitcoin. We did have last night wasn't the best. I definitely called some shorts in the Telegram group last night. I will get into those positions and explain, some of my mindset on those positions. Bitcoin is, still relatively holding strong, but it really starts to, it really shows its face when you look at a lot of the altcoins. We're not taking like a massive dent, but we're slowly bleeding. Okay. And it happens slowly sometimes. You won't always have these massive, big, giant dents. And we actually totally must have popped up a couple percent since I woke up, because I know VChin was under 4, HBAR was very close to 9. The graph, I believe, was in the 31s even at some point. We must have popped up in the hour since, 2 hours since I've been awake and first looked at the charts. But we are kind of slowly bleeding. And so what happens in these situations, I will get back to the winners and losers here in a second. But what happens is you're in a downtrend, right? You're in a downtrend. And there will be so many times in the course of that downtrend, where the market will try to confuse you and try to trick you into trying to catch that falling knife. It'll like show a bullish divergence. The money flow will change. It will look like, oh, this thing's about to pop. And then it'll go up for 20 minutes maybe, and boom, right back down. You'll lose all the games, and it'll go down further and continue to downtrend. So like when you're trading in a downtrend and you're trying to scalp long, you're very rarely going to catch the falling knife unless it's like a breakout situation, like out of a pattern of some sort. But you can scalp long, but I would not advise it if you're a new trader. And if you do scalp long, you're in that trade for no more than 30 minutes, maybe an hour. Because a lot of times you're going to be up, you're going to go long, you're going to be up, a couple $100, whatever. And then you're going to be up $80, $70, $60, boom. And then you'll be down, and then you'll try to chase it, and then you'll just keep losing because it'll keep falling. And, that is kind of what happens sometimes. So I'm really trying to, for you guys, there are a lot of beginners in the Telegram group, and I've been really kind of preaching to them, like, look, you're not, with this group, it's only been here for 2 weeks. You don't have to, never put all of your money in one trade ever. Tom Crown just put out a video yesterday, said the 1% rule, that you should never put more than 1% of your bag into a trade. And I kind of disagree with that, because I know a lot of people are only dealing with a couple $1,000s. So I would say 4 or 5%. Because if you have $1,000, the 1% rule, are we going to trade $10 at a time? No, you're not. You know what I mean? So, 5%. Okay. But, I want people to get used to being in the ebb and flow of trades. I just want you to open a $10 trade and just get used to the roller coaster of it. Because then, if you or say you got into a $100 trade and you made $10. Well, guess what? If you were in a $100,000 trade, you would have just made 10 grand. You see my point here? So you kind of got to play the game and like just have a little bit of skin in the game when you first get started to get used to the ebb and the flow and get calloused and get hardened to the games the market will play with your mind. All right, let's get back to I want to look at the gainers and the losers here today. You always want to try to isolate that volatility. Let's take a quick look at the top 300 for the streets here really fast. Checking the chat. Shout out to Anthony, got his H Barbarian Grogger shirt. I will obviously do another promo for that shirt at the end of the show for anybody who missed the first little bit of the show there. All right, so Geo Bowden still, everybody, 165. This thing is still going. Remember when we first started talking about this thing? Look at this. When I first started talking about this coin, it was a 220 market cap. It's at 555. Telling you, the election meme coin narrative is hot right now. It is smoking hot right now. Other than that, Pendle had a nice little run up. Aragon, Ampleforth, that's one I've seen before. Toncoin, wow, in the top 300, the seventh biggest mover is a top 15 coin. That's very interesting. And Toncoin with their Telegram integration, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. It's doing well. Book of Meme took a dent. Dog Whiff took a dent. That was a short we called last night in the group. Dog Whiff. Jupe is a coin that I talk about a lot on this show. All right, so let's go into the top 100. Some of the more familiar territory. Yep, Toncoin leading the way. Just under 7%, almost at 550. Love to see you got Bitcoin Cash, eCash, Ordi, Near up a little teeny bit, and then everything else like Bitcoin is like 1%, like barely up. And then the top losers, we have Wormhole down 13%. Pretty sure there was some sort of hack on Wormhole or something like that. I know one of my good friends got hacked. I'm not going to say names or anything, but that's very unfortunate. Be careful with that one. Athena, ENA is down, which makes sense because it was up big yesterday. And like I said, Jupe with Aptos, Fetch, all these things down 7%, Pyth down to 81, Phantom down to 81. Damn, that's actually really interesting. So anytime I see two coins that are very close to each other in price right now, we're going to use Phantom and Pyth network as an example. So what we do is that we click on Pyth and we click on Phantom. So let's click on Phantom first. So what I like to do is I like to consider the market cap. All right, because these coins are the same price, right? So let's consider. So we have $2.273 billion market cap with a supply 2.8 billion, total supply 3.1. So Phantom's tokenomic situation is actually very friendly, and Phantom's tokenomic situation hasn't changed that much since 2021. Yeah, it has added coins, but not to the point of like Graph or something like that has doubled its supply. That has not been the situation for Phantom. So so we have a 2.8 billion supply with a $2.2 billion market cap on Phantom. All right, so now let's consider the situation for Pyth because they're very close in price. So we have a $1.2 billion market cap with a supply of 1.5 billion with a total supply of 10. All right, so Pyth right now is actually in a very unfriendly tokenomic situation, but the market cap is much smaller. So until the unlock happens, I wouldn't be surprised to see Pyth. I know there's a large unlock coming relatively soon, I believe. I have to check into that. But I know that, right now, because it has a smaller supply and a smaller market cap, Pyth is going to move faster than Phantom because it takes less money in a smaller supply to get a move. You know what I mean? Like what it would take for Phantom to move to 90 cents. It would take a lot less money for Pyth to make the same move to 90 cents, if that makes sense. So Pyth is one that I've had my eye on despite the unfriendly tokenomic situation, because we really kind of got to look into, okay, how many coins is it actually going to add between now and the bull run? And considering it's an Oracle and the Solana ecosystem, this thing is probably still going to pump pretty decently in the bull run, despite having an unfriendly tokenomic situation, where if you kind of wanted maybe a little safer pick, I would maybe go with Phantom. I hold both of these coins. I think I have around like $5,000 or $6,000 in both of them. But yeah, I am a big fan of Phantom. And we have the Sonic upgrade coming pretty soon here in spring of this year. So big shout out to the Phantom community. Okay, now that's kind of a weird thing. All right, Wormhole airdropped to a bunch of hackers apparently. Oh shit. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I saw something with that, but damn, that's crazy. Shout out to Chauncey Peppertooth, coming correct. That's why he's my best friend, everybody. Chauncey is my best friend in the whole world. All right, I'm checking the chat here for a minute. JEAJ, how accurate are the buy and sell signals on Phemex? Are you saying like when you're on the exchange when it says like buy sell? That's just the under the order book is probably what you're talking about. That's not like a signal. That's just a percentage of people that moment going long or short. I think that's what you're talking about. Okay, so let's pull this back over here. I do have a couple news stories I wanted to talk about to you guys before we take a look at the charts. Here, actually, let's look into that. Let's look into the Python unlock because I know some people are wanting to know about it, and let's just look into it. So I always look at this site first, even if we don't find it here. This is a good site to consider. Token.unlocks.app, solid spot. So it shows you the cliff unlocks or the linear unlocks. And then it'll like literally show you the amount of unlocks down here on what is moving. So basically for the beginners out there, a linear unlock is when it slowly, happens in like linear. And a cliff unlock is like, all right, 2 weeks, boom, 2 weeks, boom, like a cliff, So you got to know the difference between a linear and a cliff. So here, let's just come over here to the search bar, type PYTH. Oops. Oh, there she is right there. All right. So total unlock progress 15%. Upcoming event 44 days 23 hours, so about 45 days out. Oh, I thought I had an account for this. Let me try to log into this really fast. Continue. Okay, we're in. We're back in. Okay, so here is the vesting schedule for Pyth. This is the daily chart. So let's look at like a weekly here. Okay, so as you can see, this kind of has a cliff type unlock. Okay, so May 19th looks like May 19th. We have it's going right now. It's at 1.5. On May 19th, it's going up to 3.6. So the supply is going to more than double on May 19th. And then, May. Okay. So it's once a year. Okay. So yeah, May 19th, 2024, boom. And then, May 18th, 2025, boom. And then, May 17th, 2026, boom. So, it's a massive big cliff unlock. Big cliff. All right. So be aware of that. I think, the week of May 19th, I think even leaning into May, that certainly have that on your calendar and certainly have it leading up to your calendar because that is a pretty big move there, but it also doesn't guarantee that the price is going to just catapult down because sometimes not everyone's going to immediately sell. There's that. I mean, I've seen cliff unlocks that I've been scared of before where the price hasn't moved that much, but this is a drastic one. I mean, we're talking 1.5 billion to 3.6 billion. That's a pretty drastic unlock. So I'm sure there will be some reaction to it, but I think this is really something important to be aware of as we inch closer to May 19th. And I'm telling you, like once we get into May, I would start watching it because people might sell off in anticipation of the unlock as well. So honestly, the thing is that I like this project. I think it's going to do very well. It's already in the top 100. It has the Solana ecosystem narrative. It's an Oracle, man. Like I think that it's going to do fine, but we do got to watch this. So, okay. So, Marsh. Okay. Quick question. AJ, last night, TradingView had WIF going up and both Phemex and Binance had it going down. There was a 5-cent difference. Any idea why? Well, it depends on what chart you're looking at because, because like if you're trading on Phemex, you shouldn't be looking, say you're trading WIF on Phemex derivatives, like, you're leverage trading it. You shouldn't be looking at the spot chart on Coinbase. You see what I'm saying? Because, every chart, like, because exchanges will have different wicks because of the activity on that exchange. So generally, like, the prices move together and they're normally not that far separated. But whatever the point here is, whatever chart you're trading, whatever exchange you're trading, you need to have that exact chart. Because if you're looking at the Binance chart and you're trading on Phemex, it will vary a little teeny bit. It just happens because they're two different markets, two different exchanges. It's two different, it's still the same coin, but they're not using the same order book. You know what I'm saying? Alrighty. Okay. So let's get into some of the news stories I had pulled up for you guys here today. I'm glad we figured out the thing with Pyth. So this is actually a pretty interesting story here. Okay. So, people always talk about like Bitcoin and the mining. I mean, I actually have a friend who has a very, very large mining rig in Maryland. Not going to say his name. And he actually made me sign an NDA, that mother. And, and he was actually, kind of worried about, I mean, we're talking about a guy that has an electric bill over $1 million a month. Okay. That's no joke. And we actually had a conversation about like, dude, like, I don't know if I should keep mining Bitcoin, after the halving, like, what should I pivot to something else? Like, blah, blah, blah. And, we did have that conversation, but this is saying it's a kind of a different take. I'm actually surprised to see that story because I literally talked to someone who's worried about it, who does mine a lot of Bitcoin. Bitcoin mining profitability won't necessarily fall after the halving. The increasing Bitcoin networks could complete miner revenue post-halving thanks to the emergence of ordinals inscriptions and Bitcoin Fi, according to a Charon trading CEO. So they're basically saying because there's more network activity, because the addition of oracles and like DeFi on Bitcoin essentially, that there's more activity and that won't hurt the miners as much because there's more stuff going on. So right here, mining profitability won't necessarily fall after the upcoming Bitcoin halving, despite a 50% supply issuance reduction, which is the point of the halving, says Laurent Bayon. He told Cointelegraph that in dollar terms, it's not obvious that miners would be worse off after the halving. Quite the opposite. The decrease in mining rewards is going to be compensated by an increase in network fees. Interesting. The Bitcoin halving is set to reduce block issuance awards from 6.25 Bitcoin to 3.125 Bitcoin on April 20th. Following previous halvings, smaller mining firms were forced out of business due to decreased block rewards. See, that's the following previous halvings, smaller mining firms were forced out of business due to decreased block rewards. So that's what my buddy's worried about. However, this time will be different because of Bitcoin native DeFi or ordinals. We've seen NFTs popping up on Bitcoin. We've seen a number of projects trying to build DeFi on Bitcoin. So those elements are leading to an increase of network fees, and that is pretty much the gist of it there. If the Bitcoin price stays above 70,000, most miners will continue to be profitable at current block rewards. They are profitable at a Bitcoin price over $35,000. Less than that, they likely lose money. So, the miners are really hoping that Bitcoin doesn't go down that far. They want Bitcoin to stay over 70. Obviously, they'd be a lot more profitable. And with the increase of network activity, thanks to ordinals, DeFi, there you go. So, that's actually very interesting. I am not a miner. I'm not really that far into that world, but I do appreciate it. And it is kind of like the entire backbone of what crypto is built on. So I do like to touch on it and you stay informed about things like that. That's interesting. AJ, what was your Messina's reward percentage? So I left some of it in there and I unclaimed some other of it. And basically I think I made like 4 or 5%, something like that. Nothing crazy because it's not like a leverage lock like Folks Finance. But I know that there are some people that are a little nervous about leverage governance. It is a little bit scary, and of course, it's moving to consensus soon anyway. So like I think this next governance period, I'm going to split between Messina and Folks Finance. I'm going to do a leverage lock on Folks, but I'm not going to do like a massive one like I've done before. I'll probably do like 10 grand or something like that. All right. So thoughts on Ondo? Well, most of the time, Like when I leave the house, I always remember to turn the lights off, but sometimes I leave them on though. Ben said that joke one time and I about fell out of my chair. I don't know why it was so funny, but it was. Okay, so let's look into it. Let's look into it. And thank you for the super chat. I do appreciate you, sir. All right. Ondo. Institutional grade finance now on chain. Ondo is building the next generation of financial infrastructure to improve market efficiency, transparency, and accessibility. So we have the US dollar yields, treasury yields, interest, Flux protocol, lend and borrow on chain, join Ondo, financial things. I actually, when I read about this, I thought they were doing RWA. Exactly, they are doing RWAs. Here we go. Okay, Ondo Finance spearheads the real world asset tokenization wave. And really, Ben and I were just talking about this literally yesterday, that the whole RWA narrative, do not sleep on this narrative. I think it could become like the future DeFi summer narrative, because like right now, like things are everything in the world is going to be tokenized eventually, and it hasn't happened yet. But this is actually, when I talk to if you have not seen my interview with Shane Higdon, the CEO, co-founder of the HBAR Foundation, I just put it out yesterday. Watch that interview. It is so interesting. This guy, big brain stuff here. And he was saying, talking about RWAs, is that like, yeah, like, of course it's important to do it, but like, it's not really common that those assets are traded yet. Like those assets aren't being traded. Like if you tokenize like your property, like where are you going to trade that? And his whole point about that was like super interesting. And I can't wait to actually see like the exchange of value once everything gets tokenized from real world assets. I mean, that's a really fantastic point that I didn't really think about, to be honest. When he said that, I was like, like, yeah, you're totally right. Like, So Ondo Finance spearheads a real world asset tokenization wave. Ondo recently made headlines by transferring $95 million into a tokenized fund managed by BlackRock, aimed at facilitating instant settlements. It's the first time a crypto protocol has used such a fund to boost its services. The move sparked significant excitement in the RWA tokenized sector, prompting a surge in market values for Ondo and various projects within the sector, with increasing ranges from 30% to 100%. Ondo's offerings include several RWA strategies in its flagship OUSG, which we saw, on its on the website up here. This is the OUSG Treasury yield, and they also have one on the US dollar yield as well. Has assets around 100 million and offers liquid exposure to short-term US Treasuries by moving OUSG funds into BlackRock's newly launched Buildle, BUIDL. Ondo Finance will enable its users to enjoy instant round-the-clock subscriptions and redemptions. This is a significant improvement over the previous systems, where the OUSG redemptions could take several business days due to the constraints of traditional security settlement time. That is pretty massive. So now, you can have instant, redemptions on the treasury yields. That is pretty sick. And of course, this is a whole part of, the RWA thing. These innovative steps have led to more than a 10-fold increase in Ondo's value since January of this year. The entire RWA sector has experienced substantial growth over the last several months, now valued around 9.3 billion. Okay. And remember, there's that article saying that like the tokenization right now, it's now worth 9 billion. I actually thought it was a little bit more. I thought it was like 30. I was mistaken, but it's around 9 billion. That's projected to be in the trillions, like 13-15 trillion by, I think they said 2030 was that study that I actually talked about it on this channel not that long ago. Hey everybody, it's 11/11. Make a wish. But yeah, very interesting. I mean, I've been watching Ondo. I believe it's on Phemex. I believe you can trade there. I think I might have done an Ondo trade on Phemex actually. Yeah, it's a chart that I've been looking at for sure. I mean, from a technical analysis perspective, we can take a quick look at Ondo. I already have those charts I do want to look at. Oh man, it's already 11:11. We definitely need to do RTA for today. And we'll start with Ondo here. Boom, boom, boom. I also do want to say before we get into this chart here, there are just about 200 people watching the show right now. I do appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for being here. Make sure you smash the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. Really hope everybody enjoys their weekend. Has a bunch of fun things planned to do. Me personally, this weekend, I'm probably going to be here at the office. I'm going to put in some extra work because Thursday next week, I'm getting on an airplane and I am flying to Las Vegas, Nevada, because I am going to watch UFC 300 with the boys and girls at VeChain. Jada is actually going to fly in on Friday, and we're going to have an amazing time. Also going to interview Jake from VeChain, who's a really cool guy. He's becoming like one of the forward-facing people at VeChain, as Sonny does not do that many interviews, but he's actually been making a pretty heavy marketing push himself. Obviously, I mean, Sonny did an interview with me, which was amazing. That video has over 10,000 views. That's pretty good for this channel. This channel is like 5 months old, so to get views like that is not bad at all. So definitely check out, big shout out to VeChain and check out that interview with Sonny if you haven't already. So I am hella excited to go to Vegas. Power Girl for Life. She says it's 1:11 a.m. here. Go to bed. Go to bed after this technical analysis. I missed a super chat here. 1 second. How are Ondo tokenomics? We can look at that before the charts. And AJ Mackie Powers $5 super chat. Thanks for the $5. AJ, what do you think about GFI over Ondo for multiples in the RWA narrative? Yeah, that's another one. That's another one that I keep seeing too. Like, I think that, I think I should probably make a video that's like top 10 RWA coins. I'm doing that. Where's my pen? Yep. Mackie, good idea, bro. You're the man. All right, let me write that down. Top 10 RWA coins. G. Oh, man. GF. Okay, perfect. I got you, bro. That video is going to be coming very soon here. Okay. And JC is off to Vegas now. Hell yeah. Shout out to him. All right, let's take a quick look at Ondo's tokenomics, and then we will look at charts and all that good stuff. So we already talked about, Pyth's unlock schedule. It's very sharp cliff, kind of brutal. Ondo breaking into the top 100. Amazing. We're looking at a market cap of 1.1 billion, still very small market cap. Circulating supply 1.4 billion with a total of 10. So, very similar to Pyth. Has a very unfriendly tokenomic situation with one hell of a narrative. So, all right, let's do this. Let's go back here. As we remember with Pyth, we have our 1.5, and then once a year, around May 19th, we get this massive unlock, taking it from 1.5 to 3.25 billion to 3.625 billion. So it's a massive cliff unlock. Every year, boom, every year, boom, every year, boom. So let's see the situation for Ondo. What I just showed you was Pyth. So here is Ondo right here. Currently 77 cents, 14% unlock. Yeah, 86% is locked. Very similar to Pyth. Okay, so we're also looking. Oh man, did not mean to do that. We are also looking at a cliff unlock here with Ondo. Is it? Okay, so yeah, it looks like another cliff type unlock. So January 1st, 2025, we will be going from 1.4 billion, where it is now, to 3.38. So we are talking a very, very similar situation to Pyth. With this, we have a very, it's a spread out cliff unlock. So we'll be at 1.4 where we are right now, and then boom, and then we'll be at 3.3 billion, and then next year on the January 1st, 2026, boom, 5.3. January 1st, 2027, boom, and that's how it's going to be. So that's pretty aggressive to do it that way. But, it seems a handful of coins are doing it this way, the newer coins that are doing it this way now. So just be aware of those unlock dates, especially if you hold big bags of these coins. Mark those dates on your calendar, even if it's months and months and months away, whatever. Be aware of it as it's coming, because, that's obviously it doesn't. And also look at, I wanted to point this out with Pyth too, but I forgot. But see the allocations. So ecosystem growth, okay? And then you see the colors here. All right. So protocol development, private sales, community access sale. And see how right now It's just ecosystem growth, community access, like nothing crazy. But then the private sales and protocol development, that is a big chunk of the stuff that's getting unlocked the first day of 2025. So, are all of them going to sell? I don't know. Probably not all of them, but some people will. Some people will for sure, especially the people that did the private sale were forced to lock their tokens for well over a year. So you got to take that into consideration. So both Pyth and Ondo with very aggressive cliff once a year vesting schedules. Interesting stuff. I like looking into that. It's very interesting. And it's also worth it to keep in mind. Shout out to all the love in the chat. You guys are awesome. Shout out to Corey Ross, Marsh, Ricky Burris, Jeff Rigdon. Do appreciate you. So how do I personally handle these unlocks? You stay aware of them, man. Like a lot of the coins that I'm in have pretty friendly tokenomic schedules. Like they're like most of the tokenomic situations over. If a coin is 70% vested already, yeah, what's that? That last 30% is not going to hurt you that much, especially targeting coins like Phantom that are almost all the way there. Coins like Quant that are basically there, and like H-bar Algorand are in like the 70% range and stuff like that. I mean, that's not that bad. But when you're seeing the supply of a coin double overnight, like I don't know if I'm going to be holding Ondo when that happens. I don't know if I'm going to be holding Pyth when that happens. I think I'm not saying it's the end of the world for them, but I'm saying that it's an unknown because the supply is just going to double overnight, and it's going to be a question mark attached to what percentage of this unlock is going to sell onto the market right now. We don't know. You know what I mean? So it is an unknown, which is why you got to search for friendly tokenomic situations, safer situations for your long-term bags. It's that simple. I don't think Ondo is going to be a big rug pull. I think Ondo is doing very well. I mean, all right. So Daisy Crypto Days, she says, so these unlocks are a negative, but still good? Question mark. All right. So it's not necessarily a negative. Okay. So coins have vesting schedules for a reason, because listen, to start a blockchain, you guys realize how much money you have to raise? You realize how much money you have to raise that, I was just looking into doing, like a private pre-sale on a coin. I opted not to do it, but I was thinking about it. And, someone made it very clear to me that, hey man, like every coin started right here with people buying pre-sales, Solana, Ethereum, all of them. They had to start somewhere. So, they do these private sales where, you can buy the coin at 3 cents or whatever. And then you have to hold it for at least a year or at least 2 years, whatever the agreement is that you lock your coins. And when it goes sale publicly, it will be 12 cents. But remember, you bought it at 3, but you can't sell it for a year. And that's how they raise money to get the ecosystems going. So it's not a bad thing that coins have a vesting schedule, but that's how they were able to get the project off the ground. And then, unfortunately, there is the reality of the coin sustaining itself. I mean, if you go back and look at, the graph, man, if you held the graph from 2021 to now, the supply went from like 1 billion to 9 or some crazy, I don't know the exact number, but my point here is that the supply went the whole time. And a lot of the times what they do, they plan it. So like the first year, it will be like bull run time, right? And they'll time it out. So the supply will be low for the bull run. It'll put in this crazy all-time high. And then the bear market hits, for 3 years. And, the supply will grow a lot in the bear market. And the coin will never get back to that previous all-time high. That happens all the time. So I'm not saying, Daisy, that it's a good or a bad thing, but it's what some projects, have to do to start the project. Like it's that simple. Like, it's not a bad thing, but you just have to be aware of it as an investor, especially if you are someone, who is neck deep in these projects. It's better once a coin is mostly finished its vesting schedule. That it's much, much better. Gala, cough, cough. Exactly, dude. Exactly. Why do you think, guys, like I was kind of skeptical when I made my optimism price prediction? You know what I mean? Optimism and Gala both have gnarly tokenomic schedules in front of them. And you got to take into consideration, like when these private sales get unlocked, Think about this, everybody. You want a pro tip? Think about this. When private sales get unlocked, what is getting unlocked is the money of people who could afford a minimum of $10,000 to a maximum of $1 million. It's a lot of the, for pre-sale ICO stuff. Sometimes it's a minimum of 5,000. Sometimes it's a minimum of 10. And, the limit could be 100,000. The limit could be 500,000, whatever. But you're talking about people that with deep pockets that could just drop all, say, oh, I'm going to throw $50,000 into this pre-sale. It's going to get locked for a year and a half. And then, do you think they're doing that to not make money on it? Because, if they get to buy it at 3 cents and then it publicly goes on sale at 12, the coin could be at a 25 cents by the time they get their coins unlocked. You know what I mean? So they just, 20x their money. It can work like that sometimes. And some of them could be an absolute dud. Some people could put in 50,000 for a pre-sale, and then the project fails and they lost that money. And that's the risk of doing that. You know what I mean? So it's pretty gnarly. And you have to realize that when the private sales get unlocked, those people didn't do the private sales because they're altruistic. They're not altruistic. They're not doing that for the good of blockchain in the future. They're doing that to make a money, period. So you just got to be aware of it. If you have a couple $1,000s in a coin, it's not that big of a deal. But if you're really, really, really neck deep into a project, you got to be aware of that. All right. So, okay. So let's, all right, we talked all about the tokenomics. We haven't even looked at the damn chart yet. And a lot of what I wanted to talk about today actually had everything to do with charts, but it's okay. It's okay. Ondo. Okay. So as you can see here, had a nice move up this year. Very nice move up this year. Let's look at a 4 hour. I'm not sure if that's the actual beginning of the project itself or just this chart. But regardless of that, let's just ignore that. I know it is a newer coin. Let me kind of consider, first of all, this uptrend that it's in. Okay. Kind of a broaden. Oh, I mean to do that. Kind of got a broadening, ascending channel here. Okay. I also want you to consider that, we don't have that much to go off of for support resistance other than this level right here. This level right here is probably the most important level in the chart because it's in its rise up. And how big was this pump, by the way? How big was this pump? And we're talking, even from February 11th to the top, 340% in about 50 days. Still be up 225. So from the tip top all-time high at $1.05 to its current price at 76 cents, talking about 27% drop in 5 days. That's normal. That's completely normal considering how hard this thing pumped, and considering there's not much support resistance to go over. The fact that it was resistance here and support here, so this level at 66 cents, 66.4 is a very, very important level. So, are we coming down the test that on the 4 hour? Let's zoom in a little teeny bit on the 2 hour. And this is kind of always what it looks like on the 2 hour. It always looks like it's about to turn around. I will say that there's not much in terms of support resistance. If you want to count that, you could, but that's not really much to go off of. But if you kind of look at, at price going this way, anchor wave, trigger wave on the 2 hour, you could, but you kind of want your anchor waves to be deeper. You don't want a little, you want a big little, you know what I mean? So you do have a slight bullish divergence on the 2 hour, but a lot of times what happens is that right here, it will trick you into trying to catch the falling knife. It will trick you into going long. I guess for this downtrend, I'd kind of cut the fat out and draw it like that. Kind of consider this the point of the downtrend here, the most of it anyway. So yeah, you could consider that level of support resistance. I'll just make it a smaller line because it did hold that level. All right, so a little yellow line there because you see it kind of topped here. And considering there's not much support resistance to go off of, we have to work with what we have. So if I was trading Ondo, I would certainly have an alarm at this level because that's the local low is here at 73.8. And then of course the big alarm at 66.5 cents. That would be probably the parachute level because that's the biggest support resistance level on the chart. And then also you'd certainly want to have an alarm set on the upper band of the downtrend because you're in a downtrend until you're not anymore locally. And then you could maybe get a trade off of that. So right here, right now, I don't really have an opinion on it right here, right now, other than it's in a downtrend. So it's likely to continue being in a downtrend until it's not anymore. Like I said, like, I'm interested to see when this thing, like, well, let's say we lose this level, right? It's going to get to a point where it's going to either have to break out or lose the most important support resistance level on the chart. And this is why we create situations with charts where we isolate certain issues so what I would do in this situation, especially if I was very serious about this project, let me zoom out here a little bit. Oh, let me zoom back in, excuse me. So what I would do is I would want to draw this out and kind of extend the gist of this downtrend to the support resistance line, right? Why would I do that? Because that would be considered a point of intersection. So right here by April 17th, so at least I know by April 17th, that point of intersection where the support resistance line intersects with the downtrend, we are either going to break out of this downtrend or lose the support resistance line. And it's going to happen in the next 12 days. So that would kind of be creating a scenario to isolate a trade. All right. Like a lot in a situation like this, I'm not trading this. This isn't worth trading. The market's not really telling me much other than this one support resistance line right here. If I traded off this, it'd basically be a guess. If it came down here, up here, and then bounced down, sure, I'd short the hell out of that. But my point here is that right now it's not in a good spot to trade, but you want to put yourself in a situation where it is a good spot to trade. And it will likely happen before the point of intersection. It always does. But the fact that the clock is ticking and it's going to do one or the other in an amount of time, it really gives you a little bit of an edge, and then you can kind of zoom in and apply the other indicators from there. So a little bit of insight on Ondo there. Couple of things. So this was a trade that we nailed last night in the Telegram group. I was saying how WIF, is obviously in a pretty big downtrend right now. And if you kind of just look at what happened, like don't ignore this part really fast and just look at this part right here. Okay. So this is kind of what I use as an example of what I thought was going to happen again. So basically, we kind of form this range, right? We bounce, we bounce, we bounce. Okay. So we're in this range. This is support. Excuse me. That's resistance. This is support. So you'd alarm here. And a lot of times what will happen is it will try to trick you. It will try to stutter step above. It will go and this alarm will go off and you'll think, oh, should I go long here? And then it'll just ship you right back down just like that. All right. And I was like, I think history is going to repeat itself here. Look at what happened last time this chart did this exact thing. All right. Look what happened right here. Like, I bet you history is going to repeat itself. So right here, so we have this level. All right. Let me pull this over a little bit. Oh, not mean to do that. Why is that? Okay. So let's pull this over. Makes a little bit more sense for your eyes. So I was kind of saying, like, look, so see, the alarm would go off here. The alarm would go off here. It actually broke out above it here. You actually could have scalped this. You could have scalped that for 2%, 10x leverage. That's 20% trade. My point here is that I didn't think that it was really going to break out because I didn't think it was going to get above the 200. All right. So that was kind of like, the market will stutter step. It will end up in a support resistance range. Okay. Here's your support resistance range. All right. And then it will break out upward of the support resistance, shoot right back down, and then shoot straight through the whole thing. And that's exactly what happened. Like, this was my example. This one broke out a little bit further, but the 200 EMA is what gave it away. That was kind of like okay, you're not going further than this point. And if you were really watching it, you could have caught the scalp long, but considering we're in a downtrend, a big downtrend here, this is why. And there's a lot of volume giving this trade away too. Zoomed out on the 2 hour, this volume node right here. Okay. And look, it actually completely worked out. Do you see that the little squiggle I had drawn over there earlier? That is because there was a lot of volume here above the support resistance, above here. And then the volume drops off to down here. And look at where the price is right now, where the volume is. Big surprise. It's like we know these things are going to happen. Because the volume really gives it away. The volume tells you where the money is. So my point here is, so if we would have, considering we're in a downtrend, scalping long isn't it. Scalping long is not it. You could, if you're very good and you have your finger on the button all the time, you could have done that. But if say you went short at the alarm break of the lower band from the top to bottom, we're talking 8% trade. Even if you're still in the trade, you're still up 4.8%. Still up 4.8%. And the market is still bleeding a little bit. So what are we thinking about now? All right, so that was kind of an explanation of that trade. What about now? Okay, so first of all, we still have to respect that we're in a downtrend. For the sake of argument, let's get rid of this guy. Let's draw this downtrend. Let me put it on like a 1 hour so I can see it a little bit better. Okay. From here, blah, 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 blah. Actually, I'm going to cut that off. Yeah, I'm going to draw it like that. So you guys see how I drew this? If you go from, you kind of want to touch the most amount of points possible. You see here, touch here, touch here, touch here. You could, if you wanted to, you could draw it like this, okay? Because you want to touch, you don't want to cut this point out. But a lot of times what I will do, I want to get the gist of the downtrend, and I will draw that like that, because that's more of the point, and this is kind of like an outlier where it temporarily broke down out of it. But if you wanted to, you could draw two if you really want to. You could be like that. In a situation where it loses this, you could wait to see if it will catch off this one. That does happen sometimes. It's kind of a rare thing, but for the most part, I like to get the gist of it. All right, so there's that. I know some people want to learn how I draw trend lines. And now, we're going to get the gist of this one, which is right here. Okay, so you see these little thin yellow lines here. So now WIF is in a downtrend until it's not. Okay, so I would not suggest going long and trying to, get this move back to support resistance unless you're very experienced and you are really, really paying attention. If you're not paying attention, you could continue, you could jump in a short, but it's going to bounce around a little bit. I mean, even best case scenario, you can get 5% to the bottom of the downtrend. But this is kind of another situation where a lot of the move has happened. And as you can see, like in this downtrend, like we had this big move down, we squiggled up. We had this big move down, we squiggled up. We had this big move down. I kind of feel like it would make sense for it to pop before we see another leg down. But really, your giveaway level would be around here. The previous low. Let me fix that a little bit. I make this one a little bit bigger. Oops. So that's really your giveaway level, is that previous low at 321. I mean, if you want to jump in a short, you could, but it's kind of a higher risk. It's more of an impulsive thing than like letting the market tell you what to do, like make a decision. But yeah, so, really what to do now is you kind of monitor this downtrend. You monitor the upper and lower band of support resistance, and you kind of set an alarm on all of them and wait for the market to give you a signal. See, that is kind of a really sure way to trade. It's a really safe way to trade when you isolate a trade and you wait for the market. If you wanted to, I mean, you could probably go short. You could go short and make 3% if it came down from here and touch the thing and touch the support resistance. You could, but that's more of a risky trade. I mean, on the 2 minute, it does look like it's going to pop up and maybe come 6% up to there, because now it's even creating on the smaller time frames. If you really want to get into the small time frame trading, now it's in this range on the small time frames, and you could alarm up on those. But that's like when you really get into the nitty gritty 2 minute chart of scalping. That's a whole nother world that I'm not really trying to teach you. I'm trying to teach you to be patient and to let the market tell you what to do. That trade last night was a really good example of the market trying to misdirect you and then actually doing what we initially planned on doing in the first place. So big shout. I know a lot of people nailed that trade in the group, got a couple of messages, thank you type messages. So I do appreciate that. You guys are awesome. A big thank you for all the kind words from everybody in the chat. You guys rock. I'm checking the chat really quick. Yeah, Gala, cough. But yeah, I'm going to call it a day. I do have a lot of stuff to get done today. You guys are awesome. Still got 180 people in the house. I know Ben just started this live stream. I don't want to step on his toes too hard. I've been going over a little bit over here. This hour just flies by every day. Just zoof. But you guys rock. Thank you guys so much. I hope you guys have a safe weekend. If you want to sign up for my Telegram group, email down below, ajalphagroup@gmail.com. Also, if you missed the beginning of the show, stick around for one more second. We did just do a brand new get rich or get wrecked drop That's my clothing line, Get Rich or Get Wrecked. Shout out to Grogger Nation. Only 100 of these will ever be made. H Barbarian with the Grogger right underneath of it. If you want to get one for yourself, we already did a giveaway on these, so we're not doing any giveaways on this post here. But it's $25 for the non-organic and $30 for the organic. I just copy and pasted it. Oh, there's that. I just copy and pasted the link to cryptochips.io in the right there if you want to get in on this H Barbarian shirt. If you're a member of the H Bar community, hell yeah, really appreciate you. So there you go. Somebody says Supercross Brap, have a good weekend. There is no Supercross race this weekend, unfortunately. I am very sad about that. But there will be one, I believe, St. Louis the week after. So there you go. Awesome. You guys rock. Have a safe weekend. Get rich, get wrecked. Don't get wrecked. Just get rich. Choose rich. Peace.